How'd you like that mashup? I call that one playing two songs at once. Ugh. Good morning, everyone. It's your boy, Joseph Rothschild, a.k.a. MBT. Got a couple of things we got to do today. First and foremost is the one-take testing. Then we're going to actually do Variety Thursday for the first time in a long time. I got a little game I'd like to play with you called Ace Attorney Apollo Justice. I have figured out how to stream it. So, we'll see. But first, let's watch some videos online.
Would you guys be okay with the TCG using OCG hand triggers? Rulings update, March 28th, that's today. Let's have a look-see. What does this mean? Effective today. The last time that we had a rules update was on April 1st of like 2020. That was 2 years ago, almost to the day. I did the first effect of Cyber Angel of Rash. What happens if my opponent does not control any monster when it resolves? Or if they do control monsters, they cannot be destroyed. If a monster is destroyed by the effect, but no damage is inflicted to my opponent due to the effects of other cards, preventing damage, can Cyber Angel of Rash attack twice during each battle phase this turn. Even if no monster is destroyed or no damage inflicted, that part of the effect of Cyber Angel of Rash to attack twice during each battle phase this turn is applied. Can I read Rash, please? Destroy as many face-up monsters your opponent controls as possible that were special from the extra deck, and if you do, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent for each.
This isn't a rules update. This is a Cyber Angel of Rash update. DC Fan 1000, thank you for the sub. Bobby 16 May, thank you for the 13. Happy Tindangle Day of Viability. Trans rights, folks.
And if you do that...
Tenkai the Mixion, thank you for the 2. Good morning, fellow Jank enthusiasts. True.
This card can make second attacks during each battle phase this turn. That's weird. You absolutely should not be able... You absolutely should not be able to attack twice. Unless Rash has, like, different card text. Maybe the conjunctions are different in the OCG. When activating the first effect of Divine Dragonlord Felgrand, can I target a Link monster or a face-down defenseless monster? Yes, you can. If you target a Link monster, that monster is banished when the effect resolves. Link monsters do not have levels or ranks, so Divine Dragon Felgrand does not gain any attack and defense. If you target a face-down defenseless monster, that monster is banished face-up. And Divine Dragonlord Felgrand will gain attack defense based on the banished monster's level or rank. Cast special summon from the graveyard, target a monster your opponent controls or in their graveyard. Banish it, and if you do, this card gains attack equal defense. You could never do that before. What the fuck? That is so weird. Why can this target a Link? That doesn't make any fucking sense. This is OCG though, right? So none of this is official for the TCG until it's officialized for the TCG, which it never will.
Strange.
TCG and rulings, Lamau. During the battle step, I activate the effect of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. If my opponent chains TG1, EM1, the fuck is this card? Target monster controls and a TG monster controls, switch control those monsters. Okay. Switch control of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon and the attack TG monster. Will those monsters be banished? Also, what happens if my opponent chains Crackdown instead and takes control of my Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon? If the effect of TG1 EM1 gives you control of the opponent's monster before resolving the effect of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, the effect of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon is not applied.
This isn't important. What's next? All right. So first up, I am reticent to tell you no one replied. Farfa did reply, but you know. What? Oh. Someone did post this, the unstumpable Trump. I just want to remind everyone how pathetic it was when people were posting pictures of Trump as like Christ. That was really just loser shit. But I will say this card's bad. It's written to be really good, but I think it's actually bad. All right, listen to this. 1 Trump tuner, 3 or more non-tuner Trump monsters. When this monster is synchro summoned, banish all monsters on the field except this one. Your opponent cannot activate card effects while this monster is on the field. So this is kind of crazy if you like Formula Synchron into it, but you can't Excel Synchron because you have to use a Trump tuner. Your opponent cannot activate card effects while this monster is on the field. When you enter your battle phase or end phase, banish this monster and return all monsters banished back to their original positions. So it's like a Dark Ruler No More that you have to invest 4 cards into, and you don't get to wield the battle phase as a way to clean up your opponent's board. It's just not very good. Anyway. Shouts out to this take that I saw earlier. This is just an amazing take. NTT, which I assume stands for Nerd Take Trolling. Like, I assume I'm just getting trolled here. Snatch Steal, Change of Heart, and Mind Control could all come back to 3 without any repercussions. People keep whining about going second against 20 negate boards, yet these are somehow banned, where their equivalents that are 20 times stronger and less interactive are legal? So, first up, what? I guess I would say I disagree with the premise of this tweet, right? I don't think people are whining about going second against 20 negate boards. I mean, it happens that people whine about that, but right now people are mostly whining about going against a first turn board that includes 1 or 2 monsters that just prevent them from playing. Just straight up like Scythe or M-Pen or the fucking barrier statue. And that's what I'm complaining about. During a meta where there were 20 negate boards, this would make a little more sense. Second, whoa, these cards are not stronger than any of these. I mean, Super Poly has not been played in anything but Hero for months. Dark Ruler No More is certainly good, but it's good specifically against decks that put up monster negates, and frequently a lot of these decks won't do that. So I, quote tweet it because I love starting shit online. And I say, okay, listen, this is only true if every deck is on Omnis. If your deck makes, like, a bunch of Omnis, yeah, like, negating a Change of Heart doesn't change the math at all. It's just another auto-win spell. But if your deck is doing interaction through another measure, like it's popping monsters, or it's negating monster effects, or it's putting up traps that require you to have monsters on field, then actually this card is terrible for you. Like, think about a Sword Soul hand that opens kind of mids and has to make Chi Xiao Blackout pass. Well, if you Ka the Chi Xiao, you've turned off their monster negate and their blackout, and you have a monster negate, right? Eldritch, it even has applications against, because then they can't use their traps. People are like, no, you could just chain Conk. Okay, cool. Then you don't have Conk, right? Then it's doing what you want. It's removed the defense position monster, and I don't know. M-Pen, like, you just take the monster that prevents you from playing. Battle Butler and Prank Hit. I mean, the list goes on and on. But the important part that I don't actually mention here, and I should have in retrospect, I wrote this at like 3 a.m. The important part here is that most of these monsters have on-field effects, right? So, like, if you Change of Heart a Baron after its negate has been exhausted, you can still use it as a removal spell. Like, there are very few scenarios in which Change of Heart is only a 1-for-1. And even in scenarios where it's only a 1-for-1, it's still really good. And the thing that it has over something like Dark Ruler No More is that it has applications versus every deck, right? Like, you would all be maining Dark Ruler No More if everyone was playing 20 negate bullshit, and you would just, like, occasionally brick on it going first, right? You don't board cards like that under the assumption that you only want to play them going second, because sometimes, the game goes a little grindy. But the reason, in my opinion, you don't main deck Dark Ruler No More is because there's some decks against which it's fucking ass, right? It just doesn't do anything. Or it does, less than you would like it to do. And Change of Heart does something reasonable against every deck. People are saying people aren't playing Minecon at 1. First, they probably should be. And second, Minecon is far and away the worst of those. And of course, this should go without saying, but Snatch Steal being an equip is going to be infuriating. Nerd Factor's like, no, searching Snatch Steal is cope. Doesn't every Aurora Online go through Power Tool? Just fucking make Power Tool, reveal 3 Snatch Steal, take 1. As part of an Aurora Online. Just, like, through it. And then, also, Minecon has been on and off the list like 100 times. Constantly people are like, no, we can bring it back, and then it inevitably goes back to 1 or 0 copies or 2 copies or whatever. The most recent move for Minecon was in 2020. Well, it's been good for a long time. Don't you need to DDR for an Auroradon combo? For a Power Tool one? No way.
That was wrong.
Hey, bud, let's play. Thank you for the sub. How are you this morning? Anyway, here's Annie. I was really hoping Annie would show up because if there's anyone I trust to break an equip card, it's her. And the one thing that makes me happy is Nerd Factor continues to bring up, like, yes, Snatch Steal came back in 2015, but we didn't have the negate boards that we do now. The same arguments were being lobbied against Snatch Steal being okay. Granted, it was proven absolutely wrong almost immediately, but like people were like, it's not a problem. We have MST, we have Fire Lake, we have Trishula. There's so many things that negate it. That format was ass, by the way. Snatch Steal was unbanned. Fuck 2015, man. I don't know what they were doing. Okay, one more thing before I want to go. First off, I gotta get these fucking playing cards. I want to use these as field centers so bad. It's the Iraqi Most Wanted. It's so good. I want to roll up and put a sleeved Saddam Hussein Ace of Spades on the table. They also look like ass. You can buy them for $10. Hop! All right, let me see if I can find the last one. Oh, well. Looks like Magic is no longer esports. Joined February 2022. Dead end of March. What happened? They decided that paper plays epic. All right, here we go. 4 YCS is announced alongside one very unfortunate announcement that we will not be having a WCQ this year. Fine by me. I earned my invite in 2019, and if I gotta carry this motherfucker all the way to 2023, you can bet your ass I will. First up, I will not be attending any regionals, probably. I can't imagine going to a regional while I have my invite already. That just seems like a waste of my time. Second, I will probably be attending every one of these. Hartford, Connecticut on May 28th to 29th. Fantastic. I don't want to go to Connecticut, but I think Hartford is maybe a 5-hour drive from me. Let me see. Well, 5.5. Niagara Falls, I've always wanted to go to. Oregon? Minneapolis, Minnesota? That one I might skip. Might skip that one, I'm going to be honest with you. And Pasadena, you know I'm going to any Cali regional. Or any Cali YCS for sure. I'm trolling, chat. It's weird to me that Canada is getting these again. But I'm going to go to Canada. I'm going to meet Skyhawk. I'm going to meet Coder. I'm going to suck them off. You know. Very excited about this. Come to Hartford. Shouts out to the Scapegoat and Shiggy's New York World Tour that they were going to do right when COVID started. And me and Danny were planning on meeting up with them, and then the whole thing fell through entirely. And it was like, well, it's probably for the best. All right. Finally, Master Duel has modified their daily rewards. They're giving you more rewards now. for, you know, doing the stupid fucking dailies. And I have to tell you, actually, this is a bad thing. It turns out that it's less gems because you could have done the silly fucking exploit and gotten more gems, but now you get less gems. To that I say, I don't care. That doesn't matter at all to me. Wordle. Uh-oh. That's not a good sign. Trobe. Stoat. Uh-oh. Oh, that was a really bad word. It had 2 T's and an S that I'd already tried. Uh-oh. I've already tried N. What the fuck? What is going on? Okay, so there's 2 O's. There can't be 2 O's. There can't be 2 O's because there's not an O in this. What is going on? It's got to be blank O, blank O, blank. And none of these letters. How about like do, dog, dogow, boo, bowel, bowal. Nope. Ooh-buh-buh. Okay, so there either that or there's like a conjunction. But a conjunction would be like ST or RT or two letters right next to each other that work. GH. None of that shit works. Could be like no. WR is at the beginning of words. And we know the second letter is O. What the fuck? Can't be CK. Could be a Y. Could be like Borley. That's not a word. But, you know, something like Borley. I like Lee. What about like Gorley? Corley, Dorley. I like Orley. I just don't think there's a good match for it. Forley. What about like Dolly? Okay. We're schmovin'. We're schmovin'. Lol. No fucking shot. No, because then that L would be green. Oh my god, if there were 3 letters in a word, I'd lose my fucking shit. So it's LO something LY. Low. I have no idea what this is. Logley? Lorley? Luli? Lowly. Jesus Christ. That was horrible. That was terrible. Who fucking thinks of words like this? I'm trying my hardest to figure out how to use this Twitch Prime, but I can't figure it out. Just take my subscription. Hey, I will. Romulus, thanks for the 100. Albaz strike revealed. I think we already knew it. What the fuck is Mouch? You know, Mouch. It's a British spelling of mooch.
That was wrong.
Nightmare Pack, thank you for the 3.
That was wrong.
Porygon Prototype 2, thank you for the sub. Shout out to that other guy reminding me I have Prime. Hey. All right. You know what we gotta do. It's time to do some one-take testing. So, Mr. Peeps Yu-Gi-Oh! Has sent me a one-take testing. And I feel like this actually might be really good. So let me download the YDK. Rebby was nice to put together. That could be anything, chat. No, that's the wrong folder. Okay. I'm going to have to practice it 1 or 2 times. So this is it. It's called Banquet Burn. I'm kidding. I'm not fucking playing Banquet Burn again. Could you imagine? Check it out. Look at this. So the idea is that Blue Eyes Jet Dragon specifically is insane. It's like out of this world. Have you read this card? Okay, so I think the idea is you go like Shrine, send White, send Jet. I think you got to get one of your guys destroyed, right? How do you summon this guy out? Yeah. We got White Stone of Ancients. You know, I'm literally scrolling up. Oh! This does not say when one of your cards is destroyed. This is when any card is destroyed. Oh my god. If you fucking torrential, you win. Hold up. Boom bum 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 bum. So if we after we this is fucking multi-faker. This is literally multi-faker. Oh my god. I'm gonna come. Alright, you know what? Actually, I've mastered this deck already. Let's get the fuck in here. Let's get the fuck in here. Let's go. Let's get the fuck in here. Oh, you know what? Peeps, do you want to get in here for this? Peeps, you want to get in here for this? 10 minutes, in and out. I don't give a fuck if you're at work. Call in, baby. Says he's offline. Get a limiter on your mic? No. Hello?
Yo.
Are you at work?
Yes.
Can you do a one take?
Not really. I'm in my supervisor's office hiding because I'm on lunch, quote unquote unquote.
Okay, well, never mind then.
Well, hold on.
Whoa. Let's not be too hasty here.
Yeah, hold on now. Have you
All right.
built the deck?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's all done.
Okay. What do you think? The only part I saw was you pogging out of your mind that Jet Dragon said when any card is destroyed.
This card's insane. This is the greatest card I've
I
ever read in my life.
told you.
I'm
telling you,
literally
bro.
building this in real life this second.
I've lined up all the cards at my local. It is going to be done in paper tonight.
Oh my god.
The
I'm
only
so
cards that I'm
annoyed.
like thinking of getting are like Majesty with Eyes of Blue. The card is terrible, but it sends either Blue Eyes or Jet Dragon for cost.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. So it's amazing though, and like Tyrant. If you establish a Tyrant Dragon, I don't know how you lose the game. Have you read that card?
Yeah, no, it's nuts. It's unbelievable.
You just reset Torrential, and it's not affected by trap cards.
You just do it every
reset
turn.
Torrential every turn. You just do it every turn, and then True Light gets you the fusion, and
yeah.
then
Wait, what?
The Tyrant, yeah, True Light. It can either summon Blue Eyes or it can set the ultimate fusion, and what the fuck else? Oh, if Tyrant, if for whatever reason True Light leaves the field, Tyrant Dragon is affected by trap cards, so it survives.
Stupid. Very dumb.
Yeah. Anyway, enjoy your one take. I'm gonna eat.
Oh wait, hold up. Do
Okay.
you want to do just a bit at the beginning where I go, and the progenitor of this list, Peeps, I have in call, and you're gonna be like, and you just go, I'm at work, you loser or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, back with another episode of One Take Testing, the show in which I aim to show off a deck, give you a sense of how it plays, and let you know my thoughts all in one singular take. Today we have an amazing deck given to us by Peeps Yu-Gi-Oh, who is in the call and going to play it alongside us. Peeps, are you ready?
What? No. Dog, I'm at work. I have a job. A real one. So bye.
We will be playing this alone. Blue Eyes Jet Dragon Control, fuck you peeps, is one of the most interesting decks that I've seen in the last couple of months. Blue Eyes Jet Dragon specifically is a card that if a card is destroyed on the field by battle or card effect, can be special summoned from the graveyard or from the hand. Think of it as a multi-faker that can recur from grave on its own, and happens to have 3,000 attack. It also can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects if you have another Blue Eyes Jet Dragon on field, meaning you can establish a sort of lock, and more importantly, It has the ability to bounce any card your opponent controls, provided it is battling. This is unbelievably strong and enabled by a series of really powerful trap cards that just so happen to destroy things like Solemn Strike and Dogmatica Punishment. We've also got stuff like Ultimate Fusion in here because it's searchable off of the True Light, which we can then use to make Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon one of the most pushed fusion monsters I've ever seen in my entire life. So I'm very, very excited to try this out and try and recoup some of the losses that I got from pulling Blue Eyes Jet Dragon in packs. Did you all hear that? It's just like dong. All right, we're going to be hosting as Kaiba in US West Competitive. All right, Mr. GameCube, let's see what you are packing. All right, so very important here is we win the die roll. We have a lot of trap cards, and we need to be able to destroy something. So let's just do that. Okay, let's just do that. Yeah, easy. And let's make sure our opponent is the only one who can talk to us. Oh, hold up. Boom, bum, 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 bum. This is not a great hand. So we can use the White Stone of Ancients to get a Blue Eyes from our deck, or we can use an Ecclesia to get another Dogmatica Punishment, or we can do both. Let's normal summon the White Stone of Ancients. I don't think this is that much of a brick. Like, even though we don't have a Jet Dragon in rotation, we do have all of the traps we need. We'll activate Ecclesia. We have the combo. What's the combo? How do we get a... Oh my god, White Stone of Ancients doesn't summon a Blue Eyes. It summons a Blue Eyes monster. Oh my good god, these cards are insane. Oh, don't negate this, come on. Alright, that's fine. Much prefer that's negated than my exceptionally powerful card. And realistically, what were we going to summon anyway? Alright, so we'll just set all this stuff. We will proceed to the end phase. And we will trigger the effect of the White Stone of Ancients to summon from our deck a copy of Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. Or maybe we should not do that. If we go for Blue Eyes Jet Dragon here, we're not going to have any way to trigger its effects because it needs a Blue Eyes White Dragon on my field or in the graveyard. I really don't want to get the Blue Eyes White Dragon here, though. I'm going to get white. This is PP bad, but I think I have to get White Dragon.
That was wrong.
All right, we're doing Jet Dragon. Fuck it. We're doing Jet Dragon. Let's go. Miles Prower, 1010. Thank you for the sub. What the hell is that? Shino Home, Priestess of the Valiants. I don't respect this archetype, and as a result, I won't be reading any of their cards. Why is every pendulum monster these days a young woman doing exactly this pose? Am I wrong? I feel like this is not the only one. Aren't like half the Sulfa chords doing this? Sheesh. All right, so it's just an Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser. Can add a Valiant from deck to hand. You got it. Okay, they're going to grab Valiant's Var, the Land of Beginning. Then they will activate Valiant's Buster Baron. I'm going to be doing some busting as well. During your main phase, you can special summon this card to your main monster zone in this card's column, and you are locked from Valiant's. And if you control this card, you can target a Valiant's monster, shmove it. And if this card is shmooved, you can put a card in the Pendulum zone in the face-up Spell Trap zone. These cards specifically exist to confuse me. I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. I mean, we have 2 pops at our disposal, but I don't really want to clear these 2. It looks like they can just summon any of them. Okay. That's fine. I probably should not have let this card stay on the field. This has added my opponent 2 cards to hand. Okay, so that's the Nazuka. Okay. This doesn't seem like it does too much. Do they have like a Link monster that's really good or something? Like, what am I missing here? So far, my opponent has just been playing tiddlywinks with themselves. No. Okay. What's the play? Beyond the Pendulum? Well, no, that's not a Valiant. Does one of them at least have a high attack stat? Okay, time for Valiant's Var, the Land of Beginning. Add a Valiant field spell from your deck to your hand, then you can destroy a Pendulum monster you control, and if you do, add a Sentence Switch from your deck to your hand. Well, son of a bitch. If I had a way to stop that, I would. Okay, so this card is... Put a Valiant's field spell from your deck face up in your opponent's field zone? What the fuck? What is going on? Okay, that is a different one. When this card is activated, place one in your opponent's field zone. If there are 2 cards in the field zone, the turn player can target a monster card in their spell trap zone. The player special summons it to their main monster zone in its column. That's fine. What are they giving me? Oh, they're giving me Kong Veesen. Sentence Switch. Okay, I probably have to pop this here, right? Oh, they're chaining something. I feel as if Sentence Switch is crazy. So we will go ahead and pop this. Let's grab Baron, seems the better one. And then we will send an Entis to grave. We'll trigger the Entis, and we'll pop the Sentence Switch. Called by the Entis! All right, we are big chilling. No, these last couple of cards in rotation are going to have to do a lot. All right, time to get schmovin'. Who that? What the hell? That's a 1 monster. Must be either fusion summoned or special summon for your face down extra deck by attributing 1 level 5 or higher Valiant monster in the same column as an extra monster zone. Well, fuck me. You know, I guess I should have hit the level 5 or higher one. I guess I should have played around this card I had no knowledge of. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 monster in your opponent's spell and trap zone, return it to the... Okay, so this does nothing. We are just going to the battle phase here. And this clears nothing on my field. I literally just have to link Haribo here. You know what? Actually, I'll just take it. I'll take the 1,000. You got it. What a good deck. All right, let's True Light. Henshin a go-go, baby. I think we want Bingo Machine. And then next turn we can get the fusion. Crazy. That's a very good draw. Let's go ahead and fire Bingo Machine a Go-Go, baby. We'll grab Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes. Well, shit. I didn't think that we would have the opportunity to pick a third one. We should be playing a third Blue Eyes. I mean, I guess I could get another Jet. You know, theoretically, it's not even that bad. Let's pick another Jet. Please don't give me the Jet. I want the Blue Eyes here, please. Thank you. Oh, thank God. Okay, Oh, we could normal the Blue Eyes. Wait, that's crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay, what do we want to do here? We can literally just normal the Blue Eyes. I feel like that's the play. Right? I feel like that's not a joke. Get him. Actually get him. All right, let's go to combat here. We're going to go Jet Dragon in. Gonna trigger Jet Dragon. I'm gonna bounce Grand Duke. And then I'm gonna get in for 3. Second main, I'm gonna Disciple. We're gonna go ahead and send Entis again. To grab Ecclesia. I will respect a little bit of what my opponent is doing. We're going to activate Entis, and then we're going to... Remember, it's under Called By! Son of a bitch, you've got to be kidding me. In my defense, it's been 100 years since that last turn. We'll go for True Light here. We can set the big-ass fusion, and then we can pass back to our opponent. All right, I mean, this is a pretty killer position to be in. So what do we do with Ultimate Fusion? We can go into Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. Okay, you can banish this card from your graveyard, place one face up a Valiance Pendulum monster from your extra deck into your Pendulum Zone. Well, that's not ideal. Nothing we can do about this. They're going to shmove that. To get a Spell Trap. This again. This is the Senate Switch Searcher, but we already have the Senate Switch in rotation. Senate Switch again. This card's effect. Did they add a second Senate Switch? No, they didn't. They're only playing the one. Okay, Mad Marquis. If Kong Veesen is in a field zone, you can summon this card to the main monster zone in this one's column. Roll a 6-sided die and excavate one of the ones. Okay, we are probably going to just Torrential here. No Blue Eyes? I mean, we're going to get the Blue Eyes back. Don't worry. No Blue Eyes? Damn, this deck is so good. Wow, this deck is just crazy. We will get a second copy of the Blue Eyes Fusion. Oh, yeah. Let's wrap this bad boy up. So we can Ultimate Fusion here. And then what do we go into? Tyrant Dragon has to be Fusion summoned and is unaffected by trap cards or effects. Yeah, I think that's the one for sure. Ultimate Fusion. Ba da 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 ba ba ba. Here he is. We'll put back... Oh my god, we can put back the White Stone. You're kidding me. Oh, wow. I mean, just incredible. EdoPro is currently struggling to comprehend how incredible our play is. Hello? Okay, there we go. Well, it took like 15 seconds off us. We'll go for Ecclesia, too. I don't fault EdoPro for this. I think that it's pretty good software. And importantly, it is also the only time that anyone has ever summoned this card. Infinite Impermanence targeting the Ecclesia. Well, then that is just going to be game over, buckaroo. Time to go to combat. 15. Unless Senate Switch has some hidden effect I'm unfamiliar with. This is lethal! No, it is not. It is not lethal. Wow, that is really not good. It's functionally lethal, though, because we get to reset our entire board. That's right, Tyrant Dragon is crazy. All right, okay. This time, for sure, our opponent can't do it. Standby phase? No, I'm not going to do that. Oh, cool, the Valiants are all different attributes. That's so funny. Valiant's Vire, the beginning, is completely fine. Summon your last pathetic card so I can end this. My deck has no pathetic cards. But it does contain this. The Unstoppable Gozen Match. Yeah, Senate Switch, add 15 Valiants to your hand. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah, keep going. Keep going. Just add as many as you want. Not a single card in your deck can stand up to this. Or they might get owned by the EdoPro timer as well. What the hell is that? I literally have never read this card in my life. Marquis. Alright. Gozen. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Pew. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Pew. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Floodgates are fun. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh shit, this guy's a water. Okay, so when this card is summoned, you can fusion summon a... Okay, so we just will not let him schmoove it. Behold, punishment. Get him out of here. Just get him out of here. What are we sending to the graveyard? Who cares? How about this guy? I guess we could have summoned back the Jet there, right? Huh. Nope. We need a Blue Eyes in rotation. Astrograph Sorcerer. Oh, glad that this guy went back to 1 so he can accomplish nothing right here. 1-1. Interesting scales. Interesting scales. And that's going to be it. All right. So what did we learn about this deck? Well, first of all, Blue Eyes Jet Dragon is a little less impressive than I expected he would be. He requires a little bit of setup. If you draw something like a Dragon Shrine, it's not a problem, but if you don't draw something like a Dragon Shrine, it is... I understand why this deck is playing so many frustratingly bad cards in order to enable this, but honestly, beating your opponent's face in with the Jet Dragon is so fun that I'm willing to overlook them. I really think this deck has a lot of capacity for fun and enjoyment at the local or casual level. Certainly not ever going to be metagame relevant. You look at a card like Blue Eyes White Dragon backed up by 55 traps and think, man, what if I was just playing Eldritch? But for the purposes of one-take testing, it's completely fine. See you next time. Bingo Machine, go to the polls. You want to know the best part? I know that Bingo Machine is expensive. I have one Bingo Machine in real life. I'm so happy that this deck plays one. I have literally one. I just got one time. Oh, shit. The Gishki FTK episode is up. Fuck, for patrons.
Last episode we explored competitive
Oh my god. I hope that I will have to look at this and see what the editor did, but it is a disaster. It is going to be a disaster for sure. Moki support? No fucking shot. No fucking shot, dog. What what does it do? Stray Moki. While this card is on the field, it's treated as a normal monster. Wow, you can't give a card that effect. Also, its name becomes Moki. You can discard this card, add a Moki from your deck to your hand. Note, this is most likely not an April Fool's joke. Someone told me to look up a Luber, so I will. I'm the Joker. Holy shit, I'm the Joker. $145? This card was 33. Do you need 3 or do you only need 1? No.
Yo, what is up, gamers? It's Sebastian. Gamers, it's Sebastian.
Oh, I've seen this. Structure deck Albaz Strike. This is just incredible. I can't believe how good this deck is. They literally just gave us a bunch of good fucking cards. Damn it. They removed IDP? I don't care. That card's bad. Inferno Baron, thank you for the sub. And they gave us all the cute little tokens. They gave us the cute tokens. Ogre was overdue for a common printing, for sure. For sure. Common Extrav is huge. Very nice, very nice. Scrolling. All right, let's go, oh, wait. Easy. I mean, just so easy. Wow, Keffels has just been killing it these last 3 weeks. I don't think she's failed a ratio in, like, a month. It's incredible. Let's do MTG Arena Draft. No. Let's do something else. Maybe she deletes failed ones? No, no, no. You know, I have a lot of respect for someone who can consistently ratio. It's like watching someone live your dream. All right, folks. Is there a mod here? We got, like, Danny or something, right? You all asked, you demanded, and now it is time. Folks. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. That's right. We're playing Apollo Justice. Many people told me to quit after the trilogy, and then many more people told me those people are fucking idiots. Play Apollo Justice. I've had a Phoenix Wright-sized hole in my heart for the last couple of months, so we are going to play Apollo Justice. Before we do that, though, you may always be safe if Phoenix Wright is your defense lawyer. But you are probably not safe while surfing the net. To ensure your safety and that your information isn't being scrubbed to send you intensely annoying targeted advertisements, or that you can watch region-locked content, depending on where you live, you can go to nordvpn.com/MBT Yu-Gi-Oh for a sick discount on a 1-year subscription today. !NordVPN in the stream to check it out. All right, how's that audio? Really bad, right? Let's try this. There we go. Is there supposed to be music in the background? There we go. Okay, let's actually use the headphones. This is just going to echo. Showdown time. You lose. Oh! Oh! Damn, that was really good for the DS. I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Someone hit him hard. Me? Please. The cop should be here any minute. I'm in your hands, should it come to that. We're back, baby! We're back in court! Let's go! Okay, now that I see how this all lines up, let me schmoove the NordVPN thing a little bit. We'll put it over here. And this should actually be up top, I think. Yeah, that's better. Much better. There we go. April 20th, 9:37 a.m. District Court, defendant in lobby number 3. Palms are sweaty. Knees weak. Arms are heavy. There's vomit on my sweater already. Ah, good morning. Good morning, sir. Who is this guy? Is there supposed to be music? Are you all hearing music? I'm not. Oh, there we go. I had my things muted. All right, how do you all feel about this volume? Yes, no, more volume, less volume? Very soft. Okay, we'll move it up. Better? All right, cool. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise. Is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial, and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, huh? I'm fine. Got up at 5 a.m. to do my Chords of Steel voice workout. I'm fine. That explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your screech. I overdid it again. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gotten, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'm okay. We'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. Okay. My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney, and today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. Daddy? Sorry, Daddy? Daddy? Sorry, Phoenix? Sorry, Daddy? Good morning. Morning. It's all up to you today. What's he doing here? And why does he look like shit? So you're fine. I'm fine. Mr. Fine, is it? In his defense, a lot of these people are named shit like that. Oh, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney, and he's your friend. So why? You'll see. You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean, it's time. Man, what happened? This case actually takes place on 420. The court is now in session. Oh, amazing. Oh, God, he looks like shit. Oh, my fucking lord. Oh, no. It's... Oh, oh, no. Defense is fine. Ready, Your Honor. Oh, he's cute. Ah, too late. Your name was Mr. Justice, and this is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine, really. Are you sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Gavin. Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention. However, a defense attorney must always cede to his client's wishes, and my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. All right. Of course he wants justice, but to entrust his case to a greenhorn, why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. What about Phoenix? Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine, but does he have cords of steel? Let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. What are you doing here? Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Whew. Jesus Christ. Piano player. I won't speak of it further then. Are you sure? I kind of want to know. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne. To think I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains. This is like the 4th time that Phoenix Wright has been accused of something. Winston Payne. Settle as ever, I see. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. I stand with Ukraine, K-Kona. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him. Wham on the head, smack, killed him cold. Why? The pianist for the club. Phoenix Wright. A pianist? This is the weapon that took the victim's life. A bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice. Oh, he's an alcoholic too. Deadly bottle. Oh, I got some other shit in here too. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record. Right. I've heard of that. Okay, here we go. We've got an attorney's badge. Smith's autopsy report. Victim's name was Shady Smith. I bet it's supposed to be Shady Smith. Estimated time of death, April 17th between 1:45 and 2:15 a.m. Cerebral hemorrhage resulting from blunt trauma to the forehead. All right. Single blow. Crime photo 1. I'm glad they put the hat back on him. It really is grape juice. Oh, good. This fucking stupid thing again. This is kind of neat. Wow. Trying to get that grape juice sussy. All right, that's all I'm saying about that. Profiles? Sorry, we got some profiles. Christoph Gavin, boss at Gavin Bullshit Office, a first-rate defense attorney. Phoenix Wright, pianist at the Borscht Bowl Club. Oh, this is 10 years later? Shady Smith and Winston Payne. He's 61. God, he looks terrible. Use the court record button to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right, 7 years, right. 7 years after the third one. So the victim was a customer at this restaurant. But just who was this Shady Smith fellow? We believe he was a time traveler. A traveler, Your Honor. According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear. And he had some sort of connection with the defendant? That, too, is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime. If they had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing? That does not appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill, at least not piano playing. It was card playing. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime! What? This is what happens when you don't live in the beautiful country of America.
Objection!
Ooh! A game in the pure sense, a competition, Your Honor. We were not betting money, I see. Clash of passions. Only the cards know its final outcome. Come again? There was no money. The cards had blue backs. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present and impress women. That will be our first order of business here then, to find out more about this fatal game of cards. Literally a fucking shadow game. Oh! That's bad coffee. Oh. Truly. Oh, God, it's really not good. A disgrace to Godot's memory. My God. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. Alright, so my question there is, what the fuck? My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game. And our customers are happy. I'm gonna fucking attack you. Alright. Right, Your Honor. Let's go. Oh! 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 Whew! 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 My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times, but you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? What is this? No, I remember how to cross-examine. I've got this one. I think you'd better do more than think. You know it or you do not. Okay. The cords of steel are ready for battle. Press and present. Find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. All right, I'm in. Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it. All right, let's make it happen. Ooh, that's cool. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. What the fuck? You could hardly play. Oh, I play sometimes when customers demand it, so I play them one song. That's usually all they want. The title of pianist is a mask, a respectable face I wear for the world at large. My real job is to take on interested customers at the poker table. They pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I am a professional, after all. It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine. Yes, your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston. Oh my god, he's great! He's so good! I've played poker for 7 years in that little room. Oh my god. And I've never lost once? What the fuck? You see why the customers come. Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is quite a draw. You've never lost? As I said, I'm a professional. You played poker for 7 years, you never lost? The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction? It has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. All in the past. Things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table, right there in that room. A smoky room, gambling hoods. You know, just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. Hey, it is this is not a bad attraction. I would go do this. Get into a smoky room with the undefeated poker pianist. That actually does sound fun. A goon. Big Rig 14, thank you for the sub. Oh, I think alerts are off. Let me turn that back on. M and Zion, thank you for the 6. My favorite Ace Attorney streamer finally got it out of that strange trading card game minigame. True. Inferno Bacon, thank you for the sub as well. And Miles Prowler 1010, thank you for the 3. I think we are caught up. Zachary, thank you for the 25. How much is Kaiba paying you to play this list? Not enough. Now we're caught up. Big Rig 14, thank you for the sub. The room had a few other tricks to it. That was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. 2 decks? A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. Okay. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor, each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad oh my god, this guy is so stupid. We used 2 types of cards at the clubs. One deck of cards was red, the other blue. As I recall, in poker, you make 5-card hands. Be easy to cheat. Heh. Yes. A game of hands. That was strange. What did he just say? What the fuck was that? Well, we didn't get anything. It was a simple game after all. No. Huh? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. You were in the room the very moment the crime occurred, yet you claim no connection to the crime. Now that's strange. I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. Shit. Right, there's something I'd like made clear. Your connection to the case at hand. And I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not? The defendant will amend his testimony. Alright, okay. They have a constitution in Japanifornia? Yes, I did. There's a crazy inconsistency here, yeah. Alright, yeah. I am familiar with how to do this. Oh my god, stop. So your fucking fingerprints are all over this. Objection! Ooh! I love it. That's so good. So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon. This grape juice bottle? Right? So I said. You see that? I examined the bottle, and it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Shit. Can we get some cornered going? Ooh! Oh. What about cords of steel? Anyway. What's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints alone don't prove he did it. Oh, he sounds like shit. Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints. Huh? But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down. He was holding the bottle inverted, and there could be only one reason for that. What if you're, like, drinking? To brain someone with it. Oh, fucking Christ. This song is so good, though. Kevin! I think things just took a turn for the worse. Oh? I see no problem, Justice. The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. You'll see. If he fucking says, I plead silence. Come on, you son of a bitch. For now. Objection! Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? The defendant? It's a self-report! He's sus! Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene? Alright, let's get that diagram going. The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in the hallway to go above ground. The call came on the 1st floor of the restaurant. Well, okay, this is kind of fucked up, right? Because he could easily get away with it. We know that that room is, like, super hard to get into and, you know, was used in the past for fucking murdering people and then dragging them out. So he walked up this is good. Yeah, he could have left, but he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he's being uncooperative. Okay, thank you, Gavin. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being. What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment the crime occurred. How can you possibly know this? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. Oh! You're as good as they say you are. Oh, shit. Here we go. Alright, who are we meeting? Everything up till now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? Let's make it happen. Prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. Wait, was Phoenix Wright our witness? Who is this? If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off. You are sure? I swear it on my gavel. Please come out. Okay, Well, if you are sure it is okay... Who is this? What the fuck? Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's, paraphernalia? She's a professional. Those are merely the tools of her trade. My name is Olga Orly. I am employed as waitress in Borscht Bowl Club restaurant. Why do you have a camera? Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht that is naming restaurant. Okay, so... But I also perform, how it said, other service. Okay, pictures. For example, this one. Uh-oh. Olga! You gotta get the fuck out of here. Doug! Thank you for the raid. 357 people here to not watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Great! Excellent. Well, hello, everybody. I hope you appreciate this. We started playing Phoenix Wright again. We are on Apollo Justice now, so we're, Apolloing the Justice. That's, the defendant? Indeed. On the night of the murder, man in white hat is one who has gone kaput. Okay. I mean, I don't know how this proves anything. It's just a picture of the two of them sitting together. This is quite piece of evidence to casually drop into our lap. Double raid? Who else raided? What? 2 raids? Is there a second one? Farfa raid? No fucking shot. Oh, Farfa, I'm sorry. You shouldn't have raided me. Farfa raided Dazif, and Dazif instantly raided you. Got it. Okay, thank you all. We have now arrived at the ultimate conclusion, which is we are not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Sorry, dumbasses. So if you're new here, I do want to let you know, you may be a casual MBT viewer. You may have heard my name. I would really appreciate if you check out my content, !socials in the chat to get a link to all of that. But on Thursdays, we like to do a Variety Thursday. I can only play so much Yu-Gi-Oh! Before my fucking brain leaks out through my ears. And today we're playing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Just kidding, we're playing Apollo Justice. This quite a piece of evidence. Nope, this is actually the judge. Is same way I drop cold bowls of borscht onto laps of customers, casually. Then the court will casually accept this as new evidence. Okay, so, this photo doesn't actually prove anything, right? Where were you at the time of the murder? I was in room. The hideout. Okay, that's interesting. The hideout is room where famous gangster bad guy. I fucking hate Ace Attorney. Was arrested. Is room where murder took place. Stop. Your look of utter surprise is lovely. I will post by courtroom door later for you. There were 3 people in the room at the time. The victim, Mr. Wright, and Olga Orly. I mean, there's no shot she killed him. Why would a quiet Russian woman ever kill someone? That fateful night. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. Oh, no. Both players played with hats on. The victim plays whole time with hand on locket at his neck. Then last hand is done, but something terrible has happened. Yes, the man flew at victim and is strangling him to death. Just awful testimony. Who won the game? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith. He just testified that he never lost. Maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection. He hadn't lost in 7 years. Take it from me, kid. It happens. Yeah, you would know. I didn't lose a case in my first 7 years as prosecutor either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. Aces high versus three of a kind. Oh, that's a fucking full house. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna look at that photo again. Something silly about that. Just a quick reminder that no back seating is on. If you fucking tell me a hint or anything, that's an instant perma. Alright, so... Oh, one of these cards is upside down. So they both have a full house, ace is high. That's interesting. Most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. But we don't know that the smaller chips are worth less. So this, I already have the contradiction. Let's, I just want to look at this real quick. Okay, they're all different suits. I thought maybe that would help me out. It'd be great if we could see the backs of those cards. You were dealing cards. Do you do this often? I am doing this. If customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht, cards, more borscht. It is my work. If you have a real DS, you can hold the Y button and say, "Hold it!" That's pretty epic, I gotta tell you. Welcome you to Borscht Bowl Club, where borscht is as warm as waitress. Thank you. Both players played with hats on. In the club? Don't you have heating? It's April. How could it be cold? At Borscht Bowl Club, we have pride on authentic rustic Russian restaurant theme. Outside is city in spring. Inside it is cold as Mother Russia. This actually sounds like a fun place to be. The victim, he plays whole time with hand on locket on neck. It looked like Phoenix had a locket. There is some sort of cheating going on here. No, a locket's a locket. Hard of hearing? This guy's just a dummy. What happened next? Then last hand is done, but something terrible has happened. Something terrible? Okay, sure. I was so frightened. I tremble with fear. Okay. The man flew at victim and is strangling him to death. Alright, well, are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Objection! Strangled him to death, did they? Oh, really? That's odd. The normal customers only choke on borscht. Oh my god. No, the report shows the victim died of a blow to the head. Ms. Orley, really now? Did you witness the crime? Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything. What is he? If this autopsy report is outdated, I'm gonna fucking lose it. Okay, alright. Oh, thank God. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation. That's quite shocking, isn't it? The head was hit. I have seen it happen. Defendant, he lunged at victim, his neck. Oh, really, Miss Orley? Shut up! Justice, I admire your enthusiasm, but think this through once more. Yeah, we don't really get anything out of this. There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me. Alright. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too. Shut up. Okay, that night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It's cold. Both players play with hats on. The victim play... Okay, this is new. After defendant tried to strangle him, he hit him with bottle. So sorry, I must be forgetting this, da. Witness, you will take greater care with your testimony. Oh, hey, sorry, Your Honor. And that clears up the discrepancy. Sure. Made to strangle the victim, then changed his mind and chose a simpler, blunter means to do the job. That sums it up. There's no way, right? There are only 3 people in the room at the time of the murder. The victim, Shoddy Smith, Mr. Wright, and Orley. Okay. Damn, this is hard. Defendant tried to strangle victim. He hit him with bottle. Okay, let's see what our evidence looks like. Okay, so all that gives us is cause of death. I mean, this photo is just terrible. Why would he put the fucking hat back on him? Oh! Something going on here. The batteries are held in with a piece of tape. That'll come up, I'm sure. And Olga's photo. Tried to strangle victim. He hit him with bottle. Doesn't really look like the same bottle. Looks like a different bottle. He's missing the pendant in this one. But I don't know if that bringing that up is good for us. Let's check the people. How do we do profiles? Oh, we can't present profiles in this game? Let's try this out. You know, there was one curious part in her testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But what does it mean? You see, that's where I am. I'm like, I mean, we could theoretically do it. So recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on a locket at his neck, I believe she said. I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar. No, but look at this photograph. There's no locket. Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. But we're not getting anything out of this. The locket disappeared following the victim's death. Well, it didn't really disappear. It's on Phoenix Wright's neck. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off, no? Taken it off? You don't mean... The defendant wasn't strangling the victim. He was taking off his locket. But what does that get us? Yes. I just noticed this, but... Are you wearing the fucking locket right now? Oh? You mean this? Yes, it's a locket. With a photograph inside. A photo... of my daughter. Oh. We confirmed it at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is Mr. Wright's daughter. He's actually a daddy. I don't know, I buy that this is just a coincidence. Well now, if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome. I don't know if it's clear the defendant lost. The game began with 3,500 points in chips for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who was winning, it was victim. For last hand, defendant play with all chips on table and lose. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and beats the fuck out of him. It seems to be a one-sided game. I mean, is it? I done it all in a fit of anger, Your Honor, and now I regret what I done. A common tale, but true. The judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. I'm willing to fuck with this testimony. How do we know that that was the victim's side? The game began with 3,500 points in chips for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. Okay. Which is which? Are the chips in this photo all the chips that were used? Of course. Are you sure? Yeah, no, keep going. Explain? What is to explain? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips. Not a chip off the old block. Not a motorcycle cop. Not... Okay, shut the fuck up. I pressed her. I'd better ask something. What are these chips worth? Dollars or rubles, even? Yet, as I have been saying before, it was game, not gamble. Hard, perhaps, for capitalists to understand. Okay, asshole. Two types of chip. 100 point and 1,000 point chip. Is not money, Justice. Don't you find her comment interesting? Yes, I do! We must overthrow the capitalist masters. In more ways than one, sir. I'd have it added to her testimony myself. Yes, please. Just throw it in there. They were actually gambaing, yeah. One type of chip worth 100, other kind worth 1,000. Okay, dumb fuck. Which kind is worth 100? Is it the big chip or the little chip? The two types of chips. Yeah. The small ones are 100 and the big ones 1,000? Right? Don't waste our time. No, I really want to know the answer to this question. Yes. Oh, Justice. Please try not to embarrass me like that. Huh? There's a clear contradiction in the information you have in your hands. It's a simple matter of calculation. Go on, try it. We're not in kindergarten after all. A calculation? Let's check this photo again. I mean, She said there were 3,500 points in total. Let's fucking do math. Fuck me. One type of chip is worth 1,000. Okay. The game began with 3,500 points in chips for each man. It means 7,000 chips have to be present in this photograph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Based on that information, the red chips have to be worth more. You're sure it was the victim who was winning? Absolutely sure. I literally got it as soon as I saw the chips. I was like, oh, the small ones are worth a lot. A glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won. If you're not in kindergarten, just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court? Of course. In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points? Why, the big ones, of course. Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up, because there's 10 of the big chips. She said the big ones are worth 1,000, and there's 7,000 total. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips. And the combined total value of the chips was 7,000. Okay. Now, look at this photo. This is all the chips. 6 red ones, 10 little ones. If the big chips are worth 1,000 and the small ones are worth 100 and you add them up, how much is it? Please. 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. However, the small chips being worth more. How could this be? Exactly. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Okay, sure. There's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. Oh no, they were both right. Each man began the game with 3,500 points, and if all the chips are shown in this photograph, there can be only one answer. The value of the chips was the other way around. The little chips are 1,000. Madness! 6 small chips, 10 large chips for 7,000 total. Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you had figured it out by yourself. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it. But wait! The value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing. Indeed, the victim did have the larger number of chips still. Oh, but the smaller value. If the small chips are 1,000 points and the large chips are 100, let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table. The victim, Mr. Smith, had 29 to the defendant's 41. So the defendant couldn't have gone all in, or at least shouldn't have. So my client did not have a motive, and now what are we doing? Oh god, he's not losing hair. We haven't won yet. Now, Miss Orley, you must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime, weren't you? Eek. I love when she does that. It's so funny. Order, order! It appears our defendant has lost his motive. And now Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. Payne is so fucking good. He's so good at being a prosecutor. I did not want to be saying this, but actually, in the last hand, there was cheat. Sorry? Yes, there was cheat in last hand. That is why game ends with chips as they are. First we have lying, now cheating. Well, this case certainly has taken a turn for the interesting. Alright, let's make it happen. The final hand. Last hand, both men had full house. Yep. There is 4 of each card in deck. Ace to king. True. If you look at both men's hand, cheat more obvious. The next moment game become argument. The defendant trick was exposed. He took bottle in hand. Poor Mr. Smith. What? What cheat? Did I fuck it up? What's a full house? You don't know your poker? What, I'm supposed to be breaking the law? Justice, you know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes? Yeah. Sadie, quiet. I have to go kill my dog. Give me a sec. Alright, she's back. Now picture a hand of 1 pair and 1 with 3 of a kind. That's a full house. Okay. So what's the fuck up? Unless that far card is a king of diamonds, in which case they have 2 of the same king. They both have full houses. We forget there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat. Alright, let's talk about it. The last hand, both men had full house. Just how hard is it to make a full house? It is very hard. He's making a pair of 3 of kind at the same time. Alright, thank you. Again, we'll just perma you for backseating. Very difficult, but not impossible. Okay. There is 4 of each card in deck from ace to king. 1 spade, 1 diamond, 1 heart, 1 club for each card. Interesting fact, this number 4 comes from number of seasons. That is an interesting fact. That's not... How does everyone here know all this bullshit about fucking poker? So the joke is that everyone here plays poker, right? Okay, talk to me about the trick. How was it clear? The defendant... Oh, if you're asking about, Ace Attorney 3, it is lost to the ages, unfortunately. I think Ace Attorney 2 is as well. He played 5th ace. Oh? I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith, 3 ace. Oh. Yeah, subathon is completely gone. Sorry. A 5th ace? Should not exist, no. I remember both hands very well. 2 ace of spades is what I'm seeing, right? Yeah. I mean, it's a little... Okay, I actually figured this one out. How do I... How do I do this? So the reason that this is okay is because they use 2 decks. Let's try this one. Nope, music didn't stop. Let's just save a state real quick. We gotta prepare to save scum. Chad, I'm not playing this on the DS. I'm playing it on an emulator. But I'm emulating a file that I ripped from a copy of Apollo Justice that I have. It's completely fine. This is hard. What is the issue? Wait, what the fuck? She's lying! I was like, okay, how do I get this 2 decks thing to work? She literally is just lying about the hands. She's literally completely fucking lying about the hands. This piece of evidence contradicts what you said in your testimony. I feel like I looked at it and said there was no cheat. Yeah, here's the issue. This is not... This is not the hand she said. In your testimony, you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. There's fucking 2 aces in this shot. Eek! Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question. No, you fucking dumb shit. She said, I remember the hands well, and this is a 2-ace hand. Where's the 5th ace? Oh, I see cheating all right. And it's going on in this courtroom. 2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating. Oh, wait, please. It is true. I have seen it. A 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear. That's interesting. The victim's hand, for sure. If I flip this over and there's a fucking ace on the back, I'm gonna come. Oh! Oh, well. Oh, well, there's... Yeah. Oh, DS feature. What's going on here, buddy? Your Honor, look at the fucking cards. One of the cards is literally from a different deck. Huh? That's impossible. Oh shit, I gotta move this now that the NordVPN is here. Torchan, thank you for the sub. I'll put it over here. Yeah, that looks good. But I put cards in right hand. Oh! Run that shit back! Yet, I said I have. Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say, the dealer. This witness, Ms. Orley, she's the cheater. A professional, I'd wager. Yet. Our jet. Time to take the advantage. Whoa! Let's run that shit back, Apollo. Please recall the testimony you just heard. That's impossible. I put that card in Wright's hand. Ergo. Orley conspired to cheat not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. Oh my god. This is so good. Holy shit. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. And Coder made a video about it. The defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga Orley, are you? Yes, we are. Let's go. 3 people in the room. One's dead, one's innocent. The borscht! Oh, thank God. Okay. Mr. Payne, where is your witness? She lost consciousness, Your Honor. Mr. Justice, Your Honor. We're getting another day? All right, let's go. Oh, it was the boy. That was the boy. Mr. Wright? Can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. Think. One of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder why? He is kind of a dumbass. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night. He's testifying again? Okay. As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before. The 2 decks at the club have different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why use different colored backs? If you use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed. We used the red deck for the last game. In the end, 1 card of the wrong color got into the mix, which means there was cheating. Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating, yet this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo? Yes? Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think. In the last game, when was the card swapped? There are 3 broad possibilities here. Could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Well, yeah, thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was a swap. Oh? It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne, or it might not be. I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks. When do you think the cards were swapped? Have to be after the murder. What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly. But tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible. Even when the backs of the cards are a different color, if you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. True. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown after the murder. Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that? Well, I mean, it establishes a motive, right? Phoenix lost. Who indeed? It's one of the mysteries before us. Yes. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? The game and murder is done. The victim is dead. Only 2 remain in the room. Alive, that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga Orly. So who was it that swapped the red card for a blue card? It's got to be Olga or someone else. I guess we might as well try Olga. Just trying to cover up evidence of the cheating. It does make some sense. Oh, but Phoenix said no. But there's a problem with that explanation. The swap card was from the wrong deck. So it would have to be a rando. I guess not. Give it a little more thought, Apollo. Sure. No shot, it was Phoenix. Let's go with someone else. And, well, I guess it couldn't have been Olga Orly either. Hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As the defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss Orly at this point. I know, but she was the one who dealt the cards. I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong color card. If the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Fun? If the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant and it wasn't Miss Orly, then who was it? Yeah. That is the question, isn't it? Precisely. I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction. Right. I shouldn't have replaced it with an ace. Who was it? Who could it have been? Holy shit. I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials. Ridiculous, Mr. Wright. The trial has proceeded on one central assumption, that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room. I believe this new evidence overturns that assumption. The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court. I suppose that is a problem. Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess. Certainly, Your Honor. Very well. The trial will resume in 20 minutes. All right, I'm going to take a quick piss. I'm going to run an ad, and then we're going to wrap this motherfucker up. Let's go, baby. Subscribe to twitch.tv/MBT Yu-Gi-Oh if you don't want to see this shit.
That was wrong.
All right, here we go. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright, to suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of the crime like that. I must ask, is it the truth? Well, now, I think you would know the answer to that. I guess so. Being mysterious, are we? I'd only ask that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. So you haven't mellowed out one bit, Kristoff. Justice? The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright? Ah, you're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket. Here, you can take a look at it. That's a picture of my daughter in there. Why does his daughter have a fucking top hat on? I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days. One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you? What do you think? You know what happened 7 years ago? What I did? What? That's true. Poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like trial law? Figure out what your opponent is thinking and you win. Sure. Am I gonna have to start reading tells? What? I have my reasons, of course. All will be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power. It's time. What the f- Oh, there's a day 2 of this? Son of a bitch. Sure. Okay, at least there's no investigation. Court will now reconvene. All right, we've got 45 minutes to wrap this up. Has our witness recovered? Yes, Your Honor. Or she's regained consciousness. You see, she's quite fatigued. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss Orley take the stand. What did Phoenix do 7 years ago? Not. Holy shit. Oh, you're telling me instead of a disgusting Russian, she's a pirate? Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian. And my last name sounds like, oh, really? There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see? Let me remind you, you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. She looked off to the side there. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game, as a waitress. Not that he needed my help, Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple, elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was going to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When the hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card. The trap would snap shut. Exposed as a cheetah, losing on top of it. It would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Damn. I wonder if this is some sort of analogy for whatever he did 7 years ago. Like, some sort of attempt was made to frame him then as well. A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Oh, really, Orly? How droll. But it appears you made quite the mistake. The trap was elegant, but what happened to the planted card? He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to be, slip free from a trap... You'd have to be to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quick Fingers Orly. Oh, really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick. Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute, I'm bad, you hear me? Alright, sure. We got some testimony. Well, she just did her fucking tell. All right, let's make it happen. Yeah. Isn't that a little odd? You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing, which means he didn't cheat, which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Oh, well... What the fuck was that? Did this man eat a psych lock or something? No, nothing, Your Honor. Yeah, let's keep going. Yeah, let's see what happens. Ms. Orly, you're hiding something. What are you talking about? Me? Quick Fingers Orly with the fucking Millennium Puzzle on my neck? The defense will refrain from baseless accusations. I have one question for the witness, then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. I, did see it, honest. I saw it when Wright hit him. Boom. My stand will make quick work of you. She's not a very good liar. What the fuck is going on? This is so fucking cool. The sensation. It's coming into focus. There. The twitch. It's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit, like I couldn't before. Gotcha! Gotcha! This is so fucking sick. Gotcha! Perhaps you are unaware of this yourself. Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. Okay. It is unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory. Her habit is scratching her neck when she talks about the moment of the crime. So what would remind her most of the moment of the crime? I noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. Leave the weapon that left an impression on your neck is this. Is it this? The bottle. But something doesn't fit. If you were the only witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit, not you. This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild You know, I gotta agree with Payne for once. The witness's habits, they're irrelevant. Justice, I'll admit, I'm a bit confused myself. This is a unique cross-ex. I'll explain later. Just trust me. Now is our only chance to break her. Ms. Orley, testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment. I am knowing nothing. We know you're not Russian. Alright. He's the one who didn't. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there. The same test. Let's press her on it. You seem uneasy. You try sitting up here. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like? Well, he must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. He sat in a daze at that table until the cops came. Intriguing. It fucking sucks. So, 18 things wrong with this. Phoenix Wright couldn't have sat in the chair because you can't get cell reception in the basement, and he called the cops on the cell phone. Actually, that's the biggest part. Show us the evidence, Mr. Justice, that you claim contradicts the testimony. She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of it. But I think the best is the phone. We have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl Club. So, explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. The man who picked up a bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant. This is so good for a DS, my god. Showdown. You dirty cheat. Check his pockets now. It's gone. The card's gone. Oh. You lose. Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to Wright, and he hit me! Oh, for losing the card! That fucking cracker! Oh my god, look at that! When I came to, the victim was already dead. That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. It came out that I was in league with Smith. I'd be a suspect for sure. You're banned? Wait, how is that against toss? No, I'm not. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm referring to the oyster crackers in the soup. It's the Borscht Bowl Club. I'm saying he's worth less than the little pieces of bread in the soup. Also, Shoddy Smith is probably not a white person. Well, where does this leave us? Madness. This is madness. I'm dreaming. It must have been me who was hit with the bottle, and I'm imagining all of this. It appears our prosecution is at its wit's end. And frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Oh my god. We're going to get off the hook, and Phoenix Wright is going to go, wait! We still haven't figured out who killed him. Mr. Gavin, sir, I believe that, as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss Orley a big fat liar. 3 were in that room the night of the murder. The defendant, the victim, and her, and she has a motive. Her plot foiled, the witness got into an argument with the client, Mr. Smith. The denouement of that argument was murder. I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me. Well, we've been told there's a 4th person in the room. What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled, we catch ourselves in the process. Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? There was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess. A single card was swapped in the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of cards were being used. A 4th person. This theory again. Your 4th person doesn't exist! It was just Lee Harvey Oswald. Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. This man is being an attorney while being stripped of his license. And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry, I have no fucking clue. Remember what I said. The 4th person who swapped the cards made one critical error. They weren't considering the color on the backs of the cards. It's Godot! How could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet there is one person here, in our court, who thought those cards were blue. Christoph? Christoph? How? It can't be Christoph. He's our mentor. He's Phoenix's friend. He did think this. As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right? Christoph Gavin. You were the 4th person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor or the table. But look! You can see the colors in the photo. They're blue. Fuck. Oh, he said it at the very beginning. Wow. Mr. Gavin? Is something the matter? No, nothing. Excuse me, it was just so... sudden. Right, you aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Christoph? You know, even I'd never take a joke this far. I gotta agree with Payne. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder? I assure you, I'm quite sane. But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. But Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met. Well, what if they have? There is a possibility, after all. They may have met that night before the game started. What? Mr. Wright, the defense would like you to fucking testify. The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin? Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happen before that game of poker be related? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss Orley... No, you're not the attorney. Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He's the defense, not you. Mr. Justice. Oh, I would like to hear it. Absolutely. Oh my god. Phoenix is so good at lawyering. Okay, let's make it happen. A2, Justice. You would betray me, your teacher? I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. It's about the truth. Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shotty Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. You were at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the murder? I dined with him rather frequently. And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder? Quite against my will, I had to become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, Wright? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth, as I did back then. And now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong. Oh my god, dude. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice. Sir? He's lying, and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Jesus Christ. This is his first trial. This is Mia levels of fucked first trial. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shotty Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. 5 minutes? So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time? That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure. Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Christoph Gavin and Shotty Smith may have met? I believe I did say that. Here I was all nervous about this meeting, and now we hear they just passed in the hall. Yeah. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. Okay, we know this one. About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga Orley mentioned? I thought this was the final case. Yeah, I know! It really could have been. I was about to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call out and search Wright. He would pull out the planted card, and it would snap shut. You swapped the cards. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. We just saw this. A harmless prank, in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that it happened. I happened to discover it. I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of it. Before the game. There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. Oh my god. Is it in the fucking murder weapon? Is it in the fucking... I get the fuck in there. Let's go. Oop. I can't really see. The bottle is completely empty. What? Objection! It's not in here. Because this isn't the murder weapon. Oh my god, he's so good. He's so good. In any case, please continue the cross-examination. Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. God, he is... That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat... Okay, we don't need this one. I guess we could press him on this. Why in the bottle? I perceived my opponent's intent immediately. I'm used to entrapment, you see. I knew what was coming. So you struck first. I like that. I know every trick in the book. They don't work on me. Okay. Girl was knocked out cold. You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get signal down in the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at that time? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. So there, in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. When I returned, he was dead. And when you returned, the victim was already dead, yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled. He was bleeding from his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to Gavin. Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin? I'd obviously gotten involved in a rather sticky affair, and I figured Kristoff's law offices would give me a friend rate for my defensive fees. Glad to hear you intend to pay. Oh, I'll pay in full, Kristoff. It was I who got you involved after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high. This is hard. The only one I haven't pressed on is Kristoff and I had dinner. You had dinner with Mr. Gavin? Yes, he dines with me at the Borscht Bowl Club quite frequently. We were enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot, as usual. I always eat at the table closest to the piano. So the plates and such on the table were from your dinner. Indeed. The remnants of my meal with Kristoff. We dined for 2 hours, then Kristoff left. After that... What the fuck do we have? So this is the one. This is the one. But the card is not in the bottle. Could it be that this isn't the bottle? Objection! No, that's not it. Oh my god, we got owned for that. We've done this already. I don't see a card in it. I don't know what happened to the card. I put it in the bottle. Perhaps a fifth person came. Mr. Gavin. Mr. Wright is your client. Okay, we did this already. We looked in the bottle and there was nothing. Or did the card disappear? Where would the 5 of hearts have ended up? It's a 7 of hearts. Oh my god, this is hard. I guess the other question is, why is his hat back on? Wait, why does this photo exist at all? Okay, well. God. Where's the blood in this? Okay, there we go. It was on the wrong statement. Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. He's got his hat on. Good point. Justice. Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Ah, I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put the hat on his head. You son of a bitch. He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view. I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head. Why did you do that? All I could say is, I'm sorry. That's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So Ms. Orley didn't see it being the victim's head? I'd think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Here we go again. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case. He's our client, jerk. I believe that's enough of that. This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone? Okay, let's fucking keep going. It's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. That reason is right here. That night, recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police, just in case I recorded our conversation. Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. He turned out to be good. He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him hard. It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please. The cop should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. What does that mean? Kind of porcelain, very smooth and shiny. And not plate, but pâté. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead, which he would never have known. Oh my fucking god. So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the borscht bowl. Most certainly. Then, how did he know? When did he see his head? Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene, and when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. The stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. How did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So, no head. It's come down to this, has it? Phoenix Wright. I will have order. Mr. Payne. I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear defense attorney Gavin's testimony? I suppose so. Oh my good God. This is the craziest of all time. What is going on here? Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Who'd have thought today would turn out like this? May I? Hello, sir. Please, pick a card. I'll take this one. Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it. This is the 5 of hearts. There's blood on it. Or is that blood at all? It could be borscht! Oh shit, give me 1 second. Forget about it. This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth? I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl. I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. Wow. Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Is this farce necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Fine, I'll play along. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim? Okay. So Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? He's here! I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. What do you think you're doing, Mr. Wright? Wow, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off, except for that one time. The fucking song, dude. That one time being the instant he was hit. When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to be at the scene of the crime, at the time of the crime. In other words, you'd have to be the real killer, is what you're trying to say. Not bad, Apollo. I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court. What? Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night? Gavin and bullshit. It's just 2 peas in a pod. The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me. Holy fuck. so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, and so I left. That's when the call came from Wright. Shit, that's really good testimony. Fuck. Yes, I'm fucking over my client here. I'm familiar. I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify, as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. You had to say that, because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Right, Apollo? Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Okay, let's go. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. That fateful night. The rage I sensed in that man last night troubled me, so I returned to the club. Whatever. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. The little window? You mean the one used to keep watch up the stairs? Yes, a relic of the ancient past. Black Marketeers used it, I believe. So you went down the stairs to look through the window? Upset Mr. Wright. It's been right after the murder took place. How do you know it was right after the murder? Really, no need to shout, Justice. I was just getting to that part in my testimony. Ah, there he is. The coolest defense in the West we know and love. Even when you're standing up there on the witness stand, some things never change. I was afraid you'd change too, right? But you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours. With friends like these, who needs enemies? The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. By photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene? Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. I saw his head when he was dead. Mr. Wright came along and replaced the hat. Describe the scene of the crime for us. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. Those were the only three at the scene of the crime. Yes, as far as I saw, at least. Then we're back where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police? 2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend. There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime. Justice, I just said I saw no one, not a soul. But that goes against what Mr. Wright said. Ah, yes. This mysterious fourth person, who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose. Let us see we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap the cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us a reason. I know why. I know why. The reason that we had to swap out the ace is because the ace was covered in blood. Oh, this is insane. Why wasn't I told about this? Could this be the missing fifth ace? Inconceivable. How could you? What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl. Oh, that card? It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club the night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock in trade, after all. Impossible! Unacceptable! The court can't accept this evidence! It's a fraud! A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think the one person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime? I don't know. Take another look at this photo and at the victim's head. The moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down the back of his head, would hit one of the cards on the floor, and a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards. I suppose so. The killer took the card to hide the blood. But why? You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question. You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. And now, I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see. How? Oh, God. I just love hearing him say objection. Oh! This can't be a real screen cap from a game. Holy shit. Oh, I assure you, it's quite based. It's amazing. Really. How a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's simple. Well, Apollo, try picturing the scene of the crime. Oh my, what the fuck? Apollo, rotate the shape in your head. The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table, and before the killer swapped a card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with this scene. Let's keep it simple. Given that there was a drop of blood on a card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, or the second witnesses? I have no fucking clue. I feel like it's got to be Gavin, though, right? The second witness's position is the problem. The second witness's position is far less problematic than yours right now, Justice. Or perhaps perilous is a better word. Ugh. God damn it. Okay, one more chance, please. Okay, let's think about this hard. Be the killer's, right? Because if the bloody card is on the floor, it can't be in the killer's hand. God fucking hell! How many times can I fuck this up? Okay, the victim. It's got to be the victim. The victim and the victim. The victim. The victim was struck on the head, sending him back in his chair. Any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him. Oh, sure, whatever. I was thinking one of the cards would be on the floor. Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. Oh, man. Try turning the chair around in your head. The chair was facing the other way. It would have to be. So we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing? When I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in this photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at this diagram once more. We know now the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder, but this creates another significant contradiction. Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses. I mean, there's a couple of issues here. If the victim is facing away, the killer can bean him in the same way that he did. But why would the victim turn around to play a game of poker? We'll say the killer here, but it could be the victim again. Yeah, the victim was struck from the front. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front, sitting where his indicator currently is? I would think it'd be quite hard, yes. Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim turn to face the wall in the middle of a game? I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light. There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense. Look again at the diagram. If the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? Mark it on the diagram. Don't worry. Let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing towards the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Forget about everything else. Where would the killer have to be standing to strike our victim from the front? He'd have to be standing in the fucking wall. The killer had to be standing here. You get points for flair, but that's about all you get. I hardly need to point out, standing there would be impossible. He's facing a cupboard. Or are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above? Yes. At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there. Oh my, Gavin is so good at crime scenes. Holy shit. Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard. Your Honor. There's one more thing your men should look for. Please give this to the bailiff. I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best. What was that? But let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't here, which means... Apollo, try moving the cupboard. Holy shit, it's going to block the window. Oh my god, it's going to block the window. Holy fucking shit. As you can see, the cupboard wasn't the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been as shown here. Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my. What's this? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. We found another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction. Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its conclusion. Oh my god, I'm gonna come. No, we know exactly who it is. Which indicator in this diagram contradicts what we know about the crime? About this cupboard. Are we all okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. That's right, someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin! What did you say? Oh? Is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order. This is a court of law, and I will have order. We just now received word from our investigative team at the Borscht Bowl Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Well, Your Honor, it turns out there is a secret passage behind it. Secret room. He actually vented. He's actually the sus imposter. This is one of the tricks to the room many of our regulars know about. A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings-on. You never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room has a secret passage. Where does it lead? Into the law offices of Gavin. my god. You see where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? I suppose so. Jesus Christ. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked, and the victim's hat was off of his head for the few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin... I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith, a date with destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it. Why did you do that? Olga Orley was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shoddy Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Then our killer stepped out from the secret passageway and into the hideout. The victim heard the cupboard sliding aside, wheeled his chair around, and was killed. After the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card, and so he swapped them. Too bad for him he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor. And the fact that they were all red. Oh my god, there's one more problem. And I already know the solution. Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly, truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. A pain! Prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Ah! Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately. Oh no. We can wrap this up now. Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked. That a person of your caliber would be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick. The defendant is cleared of all suspicion? This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but his defense attorney. Desjardins, thank you for the sub. Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin, is there any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. The bottle. Oh, no, I knew it. He's going to say the bottle is covered in your fingerprints. How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints. Am I right, Mr. Payne? Yes, they are your fingerprints upside down. The court and this case demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down, and that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor? See how the caught fish squirms to the last. Well, Apollo, your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still, but I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation, just like that. Yeah, why would he grab the bottle upside down? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there in plain sight. Oh, God. Why are the fingerprints on the bottle upside down? Well, it's because this isn't the crime scene. Or it isn't the murder weapon. I don't know how, though. How I prove that. this is hard. They were playing spin the bottle. Why would he pick up the bottle? Why would his fingerprints be upside down? I mean, this isn't going to do it. Okay. Why would the fingerprints be upside down? I mean, he loves grape juice. Maybe this picture of him at the piano with all the fucking grape juice. Reach down and pick it up without getting out of your chair. You could do this face up. You naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck, right? With your fingers upside down? No, I don't! Oh my god. Look at the photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, is seen here playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times. Recall our dinner that evening, Christoph. I was drinking my usual juice then, too. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed, but then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano, and you switched the bottles, and took one of Mr. Wright's bottles to make it look like the murder weapon. That's why there's no fucking card in this thing! Order, order, order. What do you have to say about these charges, Mr. Gavin? Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. What? You claim that I switched the bottle. Where is your proof? Oh, I've got proof, motherfucker. Don't I ever have proof? More baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty. That's the point. Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation? I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Borscht Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. Huh. What, are you going to dust that for fingerprints, too? I would be surprised if any were on that but his. I don't think that is going to do it. Say, Apollo. Why don't you examine the bottle? Just humor me. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Here we go. Here we go. What the fuck? There it is. The 5 of Hearts. Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Yes, our little swindling Devochka. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright loses the last hand just like he was supposed to, then Smith reaches for him, but the planted card was gone. The trap failed. You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of that you mentioned in this piece of testimony? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of Hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside. Oh, man. Let's go. The 5 of Hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped, and the only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Oh. But we have no motive. Why would he do this? That is all. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge. Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago. My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tete-a-tete, right? What about me? Is this the end of the week? We have come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin? He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now. One has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim. Not that we know of. Mr. Wright, do you have anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith, his occupation was listed as traveler, an odd profession to be sure, and that's all we know about him. I'll arrange a follow-up investigation? Good. Mr. Wright, yes? 7 years, and you still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed 2 things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated, this courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me? A dark time is coming for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own courts. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright? Our work lies ahead of us. And I, for one, am looking forward to it. What? Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty. Court is adjourned. Jesus Christ. Thanks, Apollo. You came through just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered the killer. Couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability. Yes, a sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. How does he know it? He has a different stand. What was that, Mr. Wright? You'll have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer... Today was full of questions without answers, most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he had to have committed murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come as well. You don't know? This locket is the key. I met your daughter, by the way. That's right. She's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. I took this off his neck the night he died. It looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. I said no such thing that this locket was mine. I said it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. But why did he have your daughter's picture in a locket? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. What the fuck? I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices. Apollo. You're not a lawyer anymore. The legendary trial, and at the middle of it was one man, Phoenix Wright. That case reached its sad conclusion and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, I'm afraid. Forged evidence? Talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. It's this. I got this from your daughter. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene because the killer took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in its place, luckily for us. The reason he freaked out about it is because it's in his possession. This is a other fucking ace that they put, like, borscht on or something. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then you really... Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney. Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? I punched him! It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright. About your uppercut. Try yelling, "Take that," next time. I find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. That was the first trial! What the fuck? Oh my god, this was so cool! Oh my goodness. Thank you all so much for sticking around for this. I can't believe we still have 880 people watching this fucking game. I'm gonna be back on Monday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know what we're gonna be doing, baby. We're gonna be doing progression and a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh shit. But if you like this specifically, next Thursday we'll be playing it as well for variety. Exclamation mark socials in the chat if you want to link to all of my, wherever I may roam, my Twitter, my YouTube, my Patreon, and my Discord. And I'm going to throw you over to someone else. How's that sound? All right, watch this last ad, and I'll catch you on the flip side.